the heart of Thailand, where ancient rivers whisper secrets and banyan trees hide shadows older than time itself, there lies a tale so haunting it has endured through centuries. A tale of love so deep it defied death, and grief so powerful it unleashed a spirit that would never rest. This is the legend of Mae Nak Phra Khanong, a woman, a mother, a ghost, whose devotion turned divine and whose sorrow turned deadly, passed down through generations, whispered around oil lamps and scribbled in temple records. Mae Nak's story is more than just folklore. It is a mirror to the human soul. It tells us that even in the darkest corners of pain, love can burn with an eternal flame. But that flame, if left untamed, can scorch the living and the dead alike. As the monsoon winds begin to rise and the mist curls through the canals of old Bangkok, we invite you into a world where the line between the living and the dead fades, and where one woman's spirit still waits beneath the tamarind tree. Part 1. Love in Phra Khanong. In the quiet village of Phra Khanong, nestled along the banks of a winding canal in 19th century Thailand, life was both serene and deeply spiritual. The people here were close to nature, and even closer to their beliefs. The sun would rise over rice paddies, casting golden light across the waters, while the calls of boat traders echoed in the morning mist. The villagers lived modest lives, shaped by ancient traditions, rituals, and an ever-present respect for the unseen. Among them was a woman named Nak, graceful, radiant, and deeply kind-hearted. Her beauty was legendary, but it was her spirit that truly captivated the villagers. Nak had long, flowing black hair that shimmered in the sunlight and deep, almond-shaped eyes filled with warmth. She lived in a modest wooden house near the edge of the village with her husband, Mak, a humble yet devoted farmer. Mak and Nak were the embodiment of young love. They spent their days in laughter and affection, walking along the canal, whispering dreams about their future, and sharing simple meals under the moonlit sky. The village elders often said they were blessed by the spirits, their bond unbreakable. But fate had other plans. When war broke out in the kingdom, men across Thailand were called to serve. Mak, being of able body, received his summons. The news shattered their peaceful world. Nak, then heavily pregnant, clung to him with tears streaming down her face, begging him not to go. "Please, Mak," she cried. "Stay with me. Our child needs you. I need you." Mak held her gently. "My heart stays with you, Nak," he said. "But my duty calls. I will return no matter what." As he walked down the dusty road, his silhouette fading into the horizon, Nak stood motionless, one hand on her swelling belly, the other reaching out in helpless sorrow. Part 2. Death in the shadows days turned into weeks. Weeks became months, and though Nak waited each day by the canal for a sign of Mak's return, none came. The war raged on, and she endured her pregnancy alone, bolstered only by the memories of their time together. One evening, a storm rolled in. The skies turned a furious gray, thunder cracked the heavens, and rain poured like a monsoon. That night, Nak went into labor. Midwives rushed to her side, chanting prayers to protective spirits, burning incense to ward off evil. But something was off. The wind howled unnaturally, doors slammed on their own, and shadows danced across the walls. As the storm reached its peak, Nak gave birth to a healthy baby boy. But the joy was short-lived. With her final breath, she whispered Mak's name, and then silence. Nak had died in childbirth. The villagers were heartbroken. They buried Nak and her child beneath a towering tamarind tree, performing all the sacred rituals to ensure their spirits would find peace. Yet something lingered in the air, a chill that never lifted. Whispers in the dark, flickering lights when no candles were lit. Grief, love, and rage, three powerful emotions, had chained Nak's soul to the earthly realm. When Mak finally returned months later, battered and weary, he was overjoyed to see Nak and their child waiting for him at home. She smiled as if no time had passed. Their home was just as he had left it. The scent of jasmine filled the air. Mak embraced her, kissed their child, and thanked the spirits for protecting his family. But as night fell, something gnawed at him. Nak's hands were ice cold. Her eyes, once full of light, seemed distant. And at night, he heard whispers, not in the house, but inside his head. Kurtur, Part 3. Whispers of Fear. The villagers watched in silence. Animals refused to go near their house. Dogs howled endlessly, and cats arched their backs at shadows no one could see. Children were forbidden to play nearby. Rumors spread that Nak had been seen walking near the tamarind tree, her body gliding above the ground, her long hair dragging behind her like a veil. One day, a young girl claimed to have seen Nak in the woods. She said Nak's limbs stretched unnaturally, her joints cracking as she floated through the trees. The next morning, the girl was found dead, her face frozen in terror. The villagers were horrified but remained silent. Who would dare confront a ghost fueled by love and vengeance? Finally, an elderly man named Somchai, who had once been friends with Mac's father, decided to speak. He visited Mac late one evening and said in a hushed tone, "Mac, my son, the woman in your house, she is not among the living." Mac laughed it off, attributing it to superstition, but doubts began to creep into his mind. Why was Nak always cold? Why did she never eat with him? And why did her reflection never appear in the water? The truth revealed itself one fateful night. Mac dropped a lime beneath the floorboards and watched as Nak reached for it. Her arms stretched unnaturally long, slithering like a snake beneath the wood. Mac froze in horror. When she stood back up, her arms snapped into place as if nothing had happened. That night, Mac fled. Part 4. Truth and Terror. Mac ran to the nearest temple and begged the monks for help. The head monk, a wise old man known for his connection to the spirit world, listened carefully. After a long silence, he nodded. Nak is no longer of this world, but her spirit is powerful. You must be careful, or she will never let you go. The monk gave Mac sacred threads, blessed water, and instructed him to keep his thoughts pure. Mac returned home to find Nak waiting, baby in arms, her face glowing unnaturally in the moonlight. "Where did you go, Mac?" she asked. Her tone was soft, but there was an edge, like broken glass beneath silk. Mac swallowed hard. "To pray. For us." Nak stared into his soul. "Do you still love me?" "Yes," he said. "But are you really here with me, Naki?" Her smile vanished. The baby let out a low, unearthly cry. Nak's face began to twist and stretch, her eyes rolling back into her skull. Her voice became deep, guttural. "You promised, Mac. You said you'd never leave me." Mac ran as Nak screamed, shaking the house with a force that cracked the walls. He reached the temple just in time. The monks formed a protective circle, chanting ancient mantras. Nak appeared, her form no longer human, and screamed in rage. Holy relics glowed. A sacred urn was brought forward. With one final cry, her spirit was drawn into the urn and sealed. Silence fell over the temple. The nightmare was over, or so they believed. Part 5. The shrine of Mae Nak's tale became legend. To honor her spirit, and perhaps to appease it, the villagers built a shrine at Wat Mahabut. In 1997, it was moved to Bangkok's Suan Luang district. Today, the shrine remains a place of reverence, visited by thousands each year. A statue of Nak and her child stands at the center, adorned with colorful fabrics and garlands of marigolds. Women come to pray for safe childbirth or for their husbands to be spared military service. Offerings include fruits, incense, lotus flowers, and toys. The bow tree behind the shrine is tied with strips of cloth, symbols of wishes and gratitude. Inside, one can see rows of clothing, portraits of Mae Nak, and notes left by those seeking her blessing. Despite the peaceful air, some say the spirit of Mae Nak still lingers. Late at night, the sound of a woman crying is sometimes heard by passers-by. Lights flicker without explanation. And those who disrespect the shrine, they report vivid nightmares, of a woman with long black hair whispering, "Why did you leave me?" Mae Nak's story is a haunting reminder that love, when twisted by death, can become something otherworldly. Her tale endures because it touches the heart and chills the soul. Thank you so much, and if you did enjoy it, please think about liking and subscribing. Thank you.